Hey everyone, and welcome to this video series on integrating a Dialogflow AI assistant into a Magento 2 store. What to expect in this series? Are you looking to enhance customer engagement and streamline support in your Magento store? In this hands-on series, I will guide you through integrating Google Cloud's Dialogflow AI assistant into Magento 2, step by step. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Adam, a Magento Adobe Commerce developer with over 10 years of experience. I'm also a best-selling Udemy instructor. My goal is to help you grow in your career by sharing modern programming techniques and the latest innovations in the AI and e-commerce. Here is some bonus for the subscribers. From time to time, I'm also offering amazing deals on my Udemy courses and even completely free coding tutorials. So if you don't want to miss out on these great opportunities, it's definitely worth subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell. Thank you so much. In the first episode, we will introduce the Dialogflow. So we will explore its features, set up Dialogflow Messenger and configure preset data stores. And in the upcoming episode, we will integrate this within the Magento 2 using extensions. So we will connect Dialogflow to Magento. So stay tuned and let's get started. Under the web.js, Chatbot.js. Let's also create the require.js config.js. With the map. Where we will set the chatbot alias for the one dev chatbot JS chatbot. So now let's continue the Chatbot.js integration. Let's add the define. So, and then let's create the strict mode and then the return. And this config will contain our project ID, agent ID, and so on. So what we are already fetching via chatbot page HTML. And then let's create the first main function for initializing the chatbot. So let's create the div where we will create the DF messenger. And let's create the close button, and with this close button we can also close the chat later. Let's add extra class name to the messenger div. This will be df messenger container. And let's add also here quickly the logic for the close button. So that means if somebody is clicking to the close button, then we are simply hiding the main div with the messenger. So we are setting the style display none. And now let's create the main part with the messenger parameters. So we are using the inner HTML function. So here. Actually, we need this part with the df messenger. So let's replace the project ID and also the agent ID and also the language code and the title. So the project ID is actually coming from the configuration here, and also the agent ID and the language code, and the chat title is also coming from the configuration, but we are setting this here as a translatable string. So the project ID is actually will be the config and project ID. And the agent ID is actually, you can copy this from here, and the only difference is here the agent ID. And for the language code, this is the language code, as you can see here. And the chat title is actually also coming from the HTML. Like chat title. So we have created the content for the messenger div. So let's append this to the body. And also let's add the closing button. With a prepend. So we are adding this to the messenger div. And let's add the second const with the chat container. And set this to block. later if we are clicking to the chatbot triggering and if it's already initialized. So now let's create the triggering based on this interaction button. Add event listener. Here we can use the arrow function. That means if somebody is clicking to the chatbot trigger and we are fetching this messenger container, chat container with a document, query selector, and then df messenger container. So if it exists, we are loading the df messenger. So for this we will create also the extra function. So let's create the script tag. And the script source. And this is the source. And then by the onload we are setting this. And then we are appending the script to the head with the append child. So and also for the chatbot interaction, this should be also adjusted. We can use the same block, escaper, and the view model. So for the view model, let's also extend this with the extra arguments. And we can here also paste the extra check. So that means if the chatbot is not activated, then we are not showing also the triggering button. Let's also create this triggering button. We can use the Magento default one, primary, classes. Let's also add here the text with the translatable string chat assistant. Now let's first clear the cache and check if everything's working fine on the front end. It's okay, and let's go to the backend. Let's activate the extension and also let's set the configuration like project ID and the agent ID. Let's save this. clear the cache. So we have here the chat assistant. Let's check the console. We have some error on the JSON. Previously, I had here some kind of typo with the chat title, that this was not closed, and also the max query length was not closed. So I closed this, and after that, if I'm reloading the page, and if I'm clicking to the chat assistant, then you will see this is already opened here. So we will also add here the toggling logic later, and also the style. For the DF Messenger container. So I would like to show this as a side panel. So let's add the Z index and also position fixed, and also button 0, right 0, top 0, and the width. And this could be, for example, 315 pixel. And let's also extend this with the style for the closing button. And this is position absolute. This could be some top position, right position, also the Z index. If you click to the chat assistant, then you will see your chat is already opened, and if you click to the close button, then it's closed. So let's also check the functionality. And also let's ask something about the opening hours, because we already added this information in the data storage with this txt file. So let's check if the AI can react regarding this opening hours question. And you will see we will get back the information from this txt document that the Lumavir fashion is open Monday through Saturday from 10 AM to 9 PM and Sunday from 11 AM to 6 PM. It's coming from this txt document. Here I would like to also mention that under the cloud Google.com and the Dialogflow CX, you can find the different HTML customizations parameters like language code, project ID, location, intent, storage option, and so on. So you can also check here the different options, and also the difference between the DF Messenger chat bubble mode and also the expanded. So this is very powerful. And here you can find also another parameters, like for defining the chat title, subtitle, icons, and also this bubble can be also modified with the parameters. And here also you can find the different parameters for the CSS customizations, like font family, style, size, color, background color, and radius, and so on. And also this is an extra style for the chat bubble mode and the expanded mode, and the title bar can be modified. So this is really important to know that you can modify the CSS with the parameters, with this added parameters. Lots of parameters optionals, and you can add this directly to your less file or style file, and then this will be applied for your chat. custom JavaScript event for closing this chat window. So this is also possible with the usage of the different JavaScript events and functions from the Dialogflow. And you can find this also here in the Dialogflow Messenger / JavaScript events page, where you can check the different events, and you can also trigger different events if the customer is typing something to the input field, or closing or opening the chat window, and so on. So this is also very powerful if you would like to modify this chat or add some custom function to this AI assistant. So I will also add these links to the video description, so you can check this later and you can modify this later if you want. This was the lesson about the integration of the Chatbot AI assistant from the Dialogflow. So stay tuned and see you in the next time.